as Chris Hoy makes his way in. And look at the number of cameras. Danny Boyle's been talking about the digital age and trying to show us exactly what that means. Look at this. Incredible. The star completed a career Grand Slam by winning the French Open a few weeks ago.
Qataris have joined us as well in the stadium. Here.
At the age of 18 for his second Olympic Games. He was only 14 when he took part and made the final in the 10-meter platform in Beijing. And what a picture, what a scene, and what a moment for these athletes. To London all these years ago. I'm sure they cannot believe what they're seeing at the moment.
Moment of great emotion for Chris Hoy, clearly. And for all of his team members, 540 of them. Tom Daly looks ecstatic. Can't quite believe the moment's arrived, Hazel.
Indeed, as we watch Pete Waterfield just behind Tom Daly there. Pete already has a silver medal from the synchro diving in Athens, but the sense of joy and celebration.
Prime Minister applauding enthusiastically. Members of the royal family, Archbishop of Canterbury too enjoying. Duke of Edinburgh and the Queen surveying the scene, taking it all in.
Well, everywhere throughout this team, as we see Alison Williamson just go past there, 6 times an Olympian, as a bronze medal. I couldn't agree more. This team trying to surpass the 19 gold medals and 47 in total that they brought back from the last games.
Round they go, taking in the energy and the atmosphere, the enthusiasm, the welcome. It's as warm and it's as lively as you can imagine.
Well, don't forget, this is the first time that Great Britain has entered teams in all 26 Summer Olympic sports, from beach volleyball to handball to basketball and football. And you're going to be seeing an awful lot of these young men and women over the next 16 days or so.
And obviously you're going to be able to see them all on the BBC, on so many different channels. And I hope to be following a sport that I never thought I'd enjoy or like, and that's the whole joy of the Olympic Games.
Well, these athletes lucky enough to be parading. Spare a thought for the swimmers: Becky Adlington, Kerry-Ann Payne, Hannah Miley, Gemma Spofford, Fran Halsall, Ellen Gandy, Liam Tyncott. They all took the decision collectively as a team to save their energies because they're in the pool, many of them 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and I'm sure though that they're staying up to see the lighting of the flame before that. Will he be wearing a medal when we come back in a few weeks' time for the closing ceremony? Let's hope so.
That is a magnificent sight, isn't it, really? Stadium looks wonderful at night, and you can see why Danny Boyle really wanted to start a little later, get the full effect of the lighting and these pixels.
Well, as we watch these pictures, spare a thought for our rowers as well. Kath Granger, Anna Walken, Greg Sell, Zach Purchase, Mark Hunter, amongst a huge rowing team that are watching this at Eton Dorney ahead of their events that start tomorrow, and down in Weymouth our sailors, including Ben Ainsley, are also, I'm sure, enjoying this and are having their own party.
You may be wondering now what's going to happen next, because we have Team GB with us. We have all 204 nations here. Clive Woodward there, enjoying the atmosphere. What's going to happen next? Well, we'll have a representation of the Doves of Peace, and then we'll be moving towards...
Quintessentially British in many ways, wasn't it? A staggering production, and all credit, I think, due to all involved, especially, of course, Danny Boyle.
Yeah, and all the volunteers that took part, boy, they can go away very happy tonight. They've done themselves proud. They've done us proud. It was a fabulous opening.
Home in America and the rest of the world really got all of it, but I thought the segment with the Queen and James Bond and the helicopter was brilliant.
It was
that was
genius,
fantastic.
wasn't it? It really was.
Yeah.
What a moment that was.
And Mr. Bean was another classic.
Mr. Bean is world renowned, is he? He's known
is,
around the world.
absolutely.
So too, of course, is James Bond. So those moments, I'm sure, they'll be grasped everywhere. Music in this country was celebrated. Film was celebrated. The NHS, Great Ormond Street, modern technology. It was a celebration of all the good things about Britain.
And we wondered after Beijing, when it was so dramatic, could they achieve that again? And the first hour and a half of changing the scene out there was just magic.
It really was, and I think London needs to make this games their own, and it started at the very beginning with the legacy and sustainability already setting a mark with this games, and I think that theme just carried right through with this opening ceremonies, and so I think that it didn't make sense to try to follow Beijing. This is not another Beijing. This is London's Olympics, and I think London did a fabulous job making this opening ceremony.
And if the track and field team are watching in Montagorda, just to let them know, obviously that cauldron is going to move from there, and they can be so warmed by the welcome that the British team had here. It's going to be immense when the athletics gets underway in 8 days.
Absolutely, and I'm sure they feel very, very proud of this opening ceremonies. I only wish they could be here. Wish you guys could have been here because this was fantastic, and. But I think they'll be very, very proud, and I think they'll be very, very inspired for when they get here and take part in this games in this stadium.
Well, Michael, thanks very much for spending the evening. We've very much enjoyed your company. The Olympic starts very shortly. Olympic breakfast on BBC One begins at 6 a.m.
Yes, it's an early start for them on breakfast, but then, of course, the live sport gets underway at 9 o'clock, and so much to look forward to. The swimming heats get underway. Britain's Hannah Miley in the 400 IM. Michael Phelps and Ryan Lochte in the pool. It's the rowing heats. The men's eights are in action, and also the equestrian. So much to look forward to, all from 9 o'clock right the way through.